Well, good morning, everyone. How in the world are you? I'm processing some book orders here. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. And I appreciate you being with me. I'm sharing with you some thoughts on a thumbnail sketch of covenant eschatology. Covenant eschatology, in contrast to all futurist eschatologies, says that the biblical focus on the coming of the Lord, judgment, and resurrection is on the end of the Old Covenant age, which epitomized, symbolized, and was identified with the death of the garden. Now, we began an examination of 1 Corinthians 15, seeking to establish the proper context. As the old saying goes, context, context, context. If you don't understand the proper setting of 1 Corinthians 15, then you cannot interpret the book properly. Well, 1 Corinthians 15, Paul tells us right up front, before we ever get even to Corinthians, that his eschatological hope, his message, his gospel, was nothing but the hope of Israel found in the law and the prophets. Acts 24:14, Acts 26:6, Acts 26:21 and following. Well, he confirms that the resurrection that he was discussing and predicting was all about the confirmation, all about the fulfillment of God's promises to Israel when he says, when the mortal shall have put on immortality, when the corruptible shall have put on incorruptibility, then shall be brought to pass the saying, death is swallowed up in victory. Now, Paul quotes directly, as virtually all scholarship agrees, directly from Isaiah 25 and Hosea chapter 13. So, in direct confirmation of the very first and the most critical point that we have made about 1 Corinthians 15, Paul informs us that the resurrection to overcome the death of Adam, 1 Corinthians 15:22, as in Adam all men die, even so in Christ shall all be made alive, the resurrection that he is anticipating would be in fulfillment of God's Old Covenant promises made to Old Covenant Israel. And by the way, that's Israel after the flesh, Romans 9:3 and 4. Folks, again, this is absolutely 100% critical. All three futurist eschatologies believe the law of Moses, the Old Testament, passed away at the cross, and that we're looking for the resurrection at the end of the Christian age in fulfillment of God's promises made to the church, not to Old Covenant Israel. Paul completely falsifies that and saying, no, the resurrection to overcome the death of Adam would be in fulfillment of Isaiah 25 and Hosea 13. Now, in our next segment, we'll demonstrate that the death of those texts cannot be, never was, resurrection from biological death. You don't want to miss it. Hey, thanks again for joining me. Don't forget that I cover all of the material I'm sharing with you here and more too in my book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, The Wedding of the King of Kings. You can go get this book by going to my websites, www.eschatology.org, pardon me, or BibleProphecy.com. Order the book, mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Thanks again. We will see you on the flip side. You have a great day.